how are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. And we get to talk about Night Court. And okay, before we get into jump into your character, I want to know how you feel to have shared an episode with not only one former character from the original, but two with Marsha.
I know. It was so cool. I grew up watching this show. This was like when I was a kid, this was my show. Um, it was like the show my parents let me stay up late for. And I thought it was hilarious. I loved all the characters. I remember the original Night Court, the bailiffs, there were two bailiffs before Marsha Warfield who both died. And they like I mourned them as a kid. I remember that. I remember them dying and it being very I was sad and they played it. They played it sad and even though it's a comedy, the show always has heart. And even from the beginning, it always like had this, it always tugged at your heartstrings. And those characters, they meant a lot to me. And then they brought Marsha Warfield on, who was hilarious. So I was a little starstruck actually when she came on set. I was nervous to be around her because I grew up watching her. And of course, John Larroquette was a hero of mine and was so good on that show. And I watched everything he did. I would watch any TV show or any movie that he was on as a kid. And I had met him before because we were both in a Broadway show, not at the same time. I came in after he left. Um, but I did get to meet him and we became kind of sort of message friends. But getting to be on set and watching him work was thrilling because he has an ability to surprise you and I knew the lines. I mean, I had a script and I would look at the script and he would still surprise me with how he would say a line. Uh, he's a master.
He is a master. And I mean, I feel like Ross and Dan and their the older version of Night Court, they were very witty, kind of straight faced. They would surprise you with the things they would say.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like you just don't expect them to say that you don't expect what comes out of their mouth to come out of their mouth. And John talked a little bit about it was really he's such a craftsman that he was interesting to talk about the differences between the old Dan Fielding and the new Dan Fielding. Of course, he's much older now. He's an older man, so he can't do all the physical comedy. He used to do crazy physical comedy, and he used to be kind of like a lech. He would sort of like lust after women, which, you know, doesn't really happen anymore. But to watch the way that um, that he re-examined the character and built in the life of this character from the 30 years where we haven't seen him was it's very cool. It's a nerd actor. I loved hearing him talk about it and watching the way that the character had evolved.
But he's still up for making that extra buck.
Yes, yes, he's always looking for a scam. Absolutely. Like the dog food. Gosh, that's so funny in this episode. I
Yeah.
want to even sell dog food.
Yeah, I also watched the original and I was a fan like you. But
Yeah.
one thing talking about your character is your character for this upcoming episode is a bit physical. And I think that you take a little bit of that of the original Harry.
Oh yeah, I was so excited when I saw, first of all, when I heard what the episode was about, the funnest judge in New York. I knew that like I was like, I want this part. I want to do this. This sounds so much fun. And then when I learned I got to do a stunt, that was because as a kid, to me, like the shows where there were stunts, especially a multi-camera, where you like it's like I see it happening. I see it in front of me. It's happening right now. I know that like that is a room and there's like an audience and they get to see it. And I was so excited and jealous. I was like, I want to be in that audience. I want to see this stunt happen. And to get to do a night court stunt was like it was very dreamy.
Now, I have to ask, if you were going into Night Court and which judge would you pick? Would you pick the fun judge, Noman, or would you pick Abby?
Abby's done. You mean if I was a criminal? If I was appearing before a judge?
Yes.
I like a show. I'd pick the fun one. I'm sorry. I like a show. I like to be entertained. Send me to Nolman. I want the fun judge.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations. I like I said, I had fun watching this episode, and I'm sure other people will too, especially those that are the original Night Court fans.
Hope so. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.